Welcome back to this Forge College Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into it. So in our previous lesson, we spent a lot of time making everything beautifully smooth for the user, right? We integrated account abstraction into wallet flows, and honestly, we made the front end feel like absolute magic. But today, we're ripping up the floorboards. We need to look at the gritty, back-end DEX plumbing that can violently break those exact same flows. We're talking about advanced strategies with Orca Whirlpools and Meteora DLMM on Solana, and specifically, we're focusing on testing and debugging those really complex integrations. So grab your hard hats, because we are getting into it.
Right off the bat, you've got to wonder, why do seemingly perfect swaps fail? Well, let me introduce you to the ultimate villain of our DeFi detective story. We call it the sneaky residual balance bug. Imagine this. You execute a massive swap. You've sliced it up perfectly over a specific time window to avoid any major price impact. The transactions actually succeed on-chain, the user gets their tokens, but wait, there's a tiny, almost microscopic bit of crypto just left behind in an intermediary account. It's exactly like finishing an IKEA furniture build and finding 3 extra screws just sitting on the floor. And in DeFi, those leftover screws will completely jam up your entire algorithmic trading strategy.
So here is our detective's notepad for today. We're going to start at the residual bug crime scene, then we'll learn how to freeze time with fixtures, interrogate our code using mocked RPCs, reenact the crime on local validators, walk through a step-by-step debugging flow, and wrap it all up with our integration checklists and next steps.
Starting with Section 1, the residual bug crime scene. You know, we don't test roller coasters with live people, and we absolutely do not test complex DeFi logic with real money on mainnet. To really grasp why, let's look at the precise definition of our culprit. The residual balance bug is a failure where a swap actually completes on-chain, but it leaves unswapped base tokens lying around due to tick rounding or fee calculation mismatches. This bug usually strikes when the mid-execution price drifts or, and this is a big one, when the Meteora SDK math slightly microscopically disagrees with the Orca Whirlpool on-chain math. Just a tiny decimal discrepancy offline means your on-chain transaction might demand slightly more liquidity than expected, or just leave dust behind. And in automated smart contracts, dust literally equals broken state.
Moving on to Section 2, freezing time with fixtures.
To actually catch a bug that only appears under highly specific, bizarre mathematical conditions, we have to freeze the crime scene. We do this using a deterministic fixture. Basically, this is a reproducible on-chain test environment seeded with exact, completely unchanging starting data. We're talking fixed block timestamps, deterministic key pairs generated from static seeds, and exact starting balances. By using a deterministic fixture, we literally trap our bug in a time loop. It's like Groundhog Day for your code. It allows us to replay the exact same failing scenario over and over again on a local Solana test-validator until we figure out exactly why the thing is breaking.
Now, building that time loop requires a really precise sequence. Step 1, you run a bootstrap script to seed the fixture. Step 2, you mint your test tokens. Using deterministic seeds, you create accounts for actors. Let's just call them Alice and Bob, so your swaps have actual reliable balances to test against. And then step 3, you initialize the Whirlpool pool and the Meteora DLMM pricing state with deterministic tick indices. Because think about it, if your setup isn't deterministic, a bug might show up on Tuesday and just totally vanish on Wednesday, which is a developer's absolute worst nightmare.
All right, Sections 3 and 4, interrogating with mocked RPCs and reenacting on local validators. Let's dig in.
Now that our scene is completely frozen, we need to contrast 2 highly effective interrogation approaches. First up, we have fast unit tests. These interrogate your code in a complete vacuum. By mocking the RPC responses, you can simulate partial fills and error codes instantly, totally isolating your SDK calculations without waiting for a blockchain to do its thing. Second, we have integration tests. These literally reenact the entire crime on a seeded local validator. This tests the end-to-end state reconciliation, ensuring your client-side math actually survives contact with the real Solana program logic.
This testing matrix right here maps out our entire game plan, showing exactly what job each test performs. So, your unit test uses mocked RPCs for really fast reproduction of calculation bugs, and your assertion here is verifying that the residual balance equals precisely 0. Then your integration test runs on the local validator for end-to-end state reconciliation, asserting that Alice's token balance exactly matches the expected amount post-swap. And finally, your regression tests ensure that once you fix this annoying math bug, it never, ever sneaks back into your codebase in the future.
Section 5, Step-by-Step Debugging Flow.
Okay, theory is great, but let's walk through the actual sequential procedure to hunt this bug down. The flow is simple, but you have to be strict about it. Step 1, start your local validator and seed the fixture. Step 2, run the failing scenario in integration mode to collect all the transaction and program logs. You want to find the exact point where the expected output diverges from the actual output. Step 3, mock the exact RPC request and isolate the bug within a fast-running unit test. And finally, step 4, patch the rounding logic and then retest. You want to see that mocked unit test turn green, and then you run the full integration test again just to ensure the fix actually holds weight on chain.
Throughout this entire debugging process, you must meticulously point your magnifying glass at two main things: tick granularity and state reconciliation. You absolutely have to ensure your off-chain SDK calculates routing and fees with the exact same precision as the on-chain programs. If Whirlpool truncates a decimal at the 6th position and your SDK decides to round it up, boom, you have a residual balance bug. It's that sensitive.
I honestly love this quote. Testing in production is like juggling chainsaws in the dark. Seriously, never, ever rely on ad hoc state testing or just crossing your fingers on a live network. Testing these intricate swap slices on mainnet is a recipe for absolute financial disaster. A small tick alignment issue on a simulated test might cost you a few seconds to fix, right? On mainnet, it could literally drain a liquidity pool or lock up user funds. Always, always use your local validator fixtures.
Finally, Section 6, checklists and next steps. With the case solved and the bug squashed, we need definitive proof. Because fixing a bug isn't just about changing a line of code, it's about proving it works. To pass this integration checkpoint, your debug report must include 3 specific artifacts. Number 1, a reusable deterministic fixture that boots up perfectly every single time. Number 2, a reliably reproduced failure. You need to show that your test fails deterministically at least 3 times in a row before you apply the fix. If it flakes, your environment just isn't deterministic enough. And number 3, a patch codebase that turns all your unit and integration suites beautifully green.
Which brings us to our final question for today. Are you ready to harden your integrations for the capstone? You now know exactly how to trap runtime bugs in deterministic time loops and squash them before they drain a liquidity pool. But as DeFi gets more complex, you have to ask yourself, what other hidden gremlins are waiting in the architecture? Take these debug reports into the upcoming capstone module and make sure to visit our website, forge.college, to arm yourself for the rest of your Web3 journey and dive into more advanced topics. Keep building, keep testing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.